First PUC Physics, you have two parts, Part 1 and Part 2, and you are going to have two different textbooks for Part 1 and Part 2. So kinetic theory of gases, we are going to study about the characteristics of how gas behaves by assuming certain things, and we are going to give the conclusion for the behavior of gases. The real sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but it is imagination. Hello everyone, I am Swati, Faculty of Physics in Vidhyaashram Pre-University College, the Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. Dear all, I would like to congratulate you all for choosing science as your subject, and I'm sure that you're gonna enjoy this journey of these 2 years of your curriculum, that is first PU and second PU, by studying this subject, because here you will learn so many interesting facts and you are going to understand so many secrets of nature. You're going to study about the things around you all and many more interesting concepts. Dear students, to reach your goal, to achieve a glory and to get success in your life, there must be a proper plan and execution. So if there is no plan, it is like you are sailing in an ocean without navigation, where you are not going to reach the proper destination. So it is absolutely very important to know about your syllabus, about your course, about the question paper pattern, what you are going to get in your final examination, and make your own strategy to get success in your curriculum. So yes, in this session, I am going to introduce your course, subject and the question paper pattern, what and all you have to study and what are the chapter you are going to get for your first PUC in this session. So yes, your first PUC syllabus have two parts. First PUC Physics, you have two parts, Part 1 and Part 2, and you are going to have two different textbooks for Part 1 and Part 2. So in Part 1, you have 8 chapters. I'm going to tell you about these 8 chapters briefly, wherein you are going to learn in detail about these chapters in our upcoming sessions. So the very first chapter of your first part is Physical World. So in Physical World, you are going to learn about the basic concepts of physics. What is physics? What are the fundamental forces? And about so many discoveries, inventions and many more interesting concepts. The weightage of this chapter is 2 marks for your final examination. We are going to help you with the preparations of questions for your examination in the upcoming sessions. So Physical World is a very interesting chapter to start with, so followed by units and measurements. We all know that how measurement is important in our daily life. So to measure anything, there will be standard units which are accepted by international levels. So in this chapter, we are going to study about all basic units, about the SI units of measurements and many more interesting concepts. The next chapter is Motion in a Straight Line. So in Motion in a Straight Line chapter, we are going to study about the motion of objects, various laws behind the motion of object, and we are going to study about motion is common everywhere. We walk, we run, and air flows, air moves. Planets around the sun that revolves. So everything is under motion. So basic concepts about motion, that too in a straight line, that is one-dimensional motion concepts, we are going to study in Motion in a Straight Line chapter. So next comes Motion in a Plane, wherein we are going to study about the object movement or the motion of an object two-dimensionally. Well, if you consider in a single line, that is one-dimensional motion, that you are going to study in straight line, and you are going to study about motion in a plane, what is the phenomena, what are the different concepts, so that in case of motion in a plane. So in a Motion in a Plane chapter, you are going to study about motion of an object in 2 dimensions. So if in case of 1 dimension, that is a concept in straight line, we are going to study various laws and phenomena. In case of motion in a plane, we are going to study about the motion of objects in 2-dimension concept. And next we are going to study about laws of motion, wherein we are going to apply Newtonian law of mechanics and about friction, inertia and many more interesting concepts in Newton's laws of motion. So while studying these 3 chapters, we are going to understand 2 different and important quantities in physics, that is scalars and vectors also. So next chapter is work, energy and power. So these three words are very much familiar to all of us. Work, energy and power. We know what is energy, the capacity to do any work, and how work and power and energy, they are related with each other, and many more interesting concepts in work, energy, power chapter. And followed by we have system of particles and rotational motion. So here in this chapter we are going to understand a system of mass, a system of particles. If you consider one particle, we'll call it as particle, and if you consider many particles, by understanding the center of mass concept, we are going to study about many interesting phenomena and facts in system of particles and rotational motion. The next chapter we are going to study in this first part is gravitation. So gravitation, as you all know, it is the fundamental force in nature. Because of that I am standing here, because of that we are walking on the surface of the earth, because of that moon is revolving around the earth. All these things and various different around the earth. And what happens to the gravity as we go above the earth's surface, below the earth's surface, what is gravity on the earth's surface. We are going to study about artificial satellites, geostationary satellites and many more interesting concepts in the chapter gravitation. So this is all about the chapter introduction in your first part of physics. And here in the second part, we have much more different interesting concepts, and the first chapter and the second part is mechanical properties of solids. We all know matter is classified as solids, liquids and gases. So under that, we are going to study about how solids behaves if we apply the external pressure. We all know what is elasticity, what is plastic, what is elastic materials. And now in this chapter, we are going to differentiate between those characteristics of solids, what is plasticity, what is elasticity, where we are going to understand what is stress, what is strain and many more interesting concepts. You are definitely going to enjoy many more interesting concepts. And the next chapter we have in this is mechanical properties of fluids. You all know what are fluids. Fluids are nothing but substances that can flow. So in this chapter, we are going to study about Pascal's law, Bernoulli's principle and there are many more practical applications of these concepts. We are going to learn about surface tension, viscosity and many more interesting facts. And the next chapter comes thermal properties of matter. So thermal properties means how does matter behaves when the temperature changes. So we are going to study about different scales of temperature and how does the state of matter changes when the temperature changes. So all those interesting concepts and many more interesting concepts we are going to study in thermal properties of matter chapter. So the next comes thermodynamics. So thermodynamics actually plays a major role in development of engines, refrigerators, wherein we are going to study about the different laws of thermodynamics, that is zeroth law, first law, second law and their practical applications. Next comes kinetic theory of gases. So kinetic theory of gases, we are going to study about the characteristics of how gas behaves by assuming certain things, and we are going to give the conclusion for the behavior of gases. We are going to study about the basic laws like Boyle's law, Charles' law and Gay-Lussac's law and many more interesting concepts. How does the velocity of the gas molecules changes as the temperature varies? All these concepts we are going to study in kinetic theory of gases. And the next chapter is oscillation. So in oscillations, we are going to derive few important derivations. We are going to understand simple pendulum and simple harmonic motion and many more interesting concepts. So next chapter is waves. In this chapter, we are going to study about the types of waves and the characteristics of waves, progressive waves, stationary waves and sound waves and etc. Many more important concepts like Doppler effect and many more interesting things. So this is about the chapter's introduction in first and second part of your physics. And yes, children, to get good marks, to prepare well for your examination, it is very important to know about the question paper pattern. See, here we have a question paper pattern for you all. Your question paper pattern is like this. For theory and practicals includes, you have to write you have to face your question paper for 100 marks. So whereas your theory paper will be for 70 marks and practical paper will be of 30 marks. So total time will be given for you all to write the theory paper is 3 hours 15 minutes. For practical it is 2 hours. Your question paper will be like this. It consists of part A, part B, part C and part D, where part A is full of 1 mark question. You will be total having 1 mark question. So total you will be having 15 questions in this first main, where you have to answer only 10 questions. Each question carries 1 mark, so that you can fetch 10 mark in the first part. And part B is of 2 mark question. You will be having 10 questions in total. You have to attend 5 and you can keep other 5 as an option. You can attend, but 5 is compulsory. So 5 into 2 you will get 10 mark in this part. Next you have part C. You will get 3 mark question in this section, and here you have to answer 3 mark question, that is 5 question you have to answer among 10, where you will get 15 mark in this part. And part D is of 5 mark questions completely. So first part and second part is of theory based questions, where you have to answer 2 questions from each part, which will give you 10 mark in each section. And the last part is always numerical part. You have to solve the problems related to the concepts. You have to attend 3 questions. You will get 15 mark from this section. So this is about the theory paper. So while writing numericals, one thing you have to keep in mind, that is, first you have to read the question properly, then you have to write the given things. And you have to think about which is the appropriate formula for the given question. Then you can substitute the values with proper SI unit. If you reproduce your answer on the paper, you will definitely get full marks. So this is the blueprint of your first PU syllabus. I told you about physical world. I have already introduced you all the chapters. This physical world teaching hour is 2 hours. We will take 2 hours class for this physical world chapter, and the marks allotted for this chapter is 2 mark. You can expect 1 mark question, 2 1 mark questions, or you can expect 1 2 mark question from this chapter. And the next chapter we have is units and measurements. The teaching hour for this chapter is 4 hours, and the weightage of this chapter is 5 mark, where you can expect 2 mark question and 3 mark question from units and measurements. Next we have motion in a straight line, which is of 9 mark. So you can expect 5 mark question, 1 mark question and 3 mark question. So you will get total 5 plus 3 plus 1. It will give you 9 mark. Next is a motion in a plane, which is allotted with the highest mark, that is 14 mark. You can expect questions from all the sections in case of motion in a plane. Either you can get 5 mark question or a problem also you can expect from this. Next is a loss of motion. 13 mark is allotted for this chapter. You can plan accordingly and prepare for your examination. In this chapter also we can expect question from all the sections. Next we have work, energy and power. Work, energy and power is allotted with 13 mark. We can expect 5 mark numerical or 5 mark question and a 3 mark question in work, energy and power. Next is system of particles and rotational motion. This is also one of the important chapter. We can expect problem and 5 mark question and also a 3 mark question. Very important chapter to prepare for examination. The last one is gravitation. We can expect numerical or a 5 mark question. So total mark allotted for gravitation is 10 mark. So next for mechanical properties of solids, we have 6 mark. That is 1 mark question, 2 mark question and 3 mark question we can get from this chapter. And mechanical properties of fluids is also of 6 marks. So we can expect questions in 1 mark section, 2 mark section and 3 mark section. And next is thermal properties of matter. We can expect on numerical from this chapter, thermal properties of matter. This is very important. And also 1 mark questions, 2 mark question and 3 mark question. Again, one more important chapter to prepare for exams. So next is thermodynamics, which is allotted with 9 mark. So you can get 1 mark, 3 mark and 5 mark question in case of thermodynamics. So next kinetic theory, it is of 6 mark. We can get 1 mark, 2 mark and 3 mark questions. Oscillations of 9 mark. You can expect question from all the sections in case of oscillations as well as in waves. So waves also we can get 2 mark question, 5 mark numerical, definite numerical, and 5 mark question in case of waves. So this is how you have to make your own strategy to prepare well for the examination, and if you really plan well, it is so easy to score well and definitely a centum in physics. So yes, students, here one of the model question paper I have for you. So that is, you can say, Department of Pre-University Education Karnataka model question paper, first PUC physics, and the subject code of physics is 33. The maximum marks you have to attend for is 70. And here the time duration is 3 hours 15 minutes. So before you start writing the answers in the examination, first thing you have to do is you should read the instructions. It is very important. So the instructions are like this. First one, all parts are compulsory, like part A, part B, part C, part D, what I have shown. All the parts are compulsory, and answers without relevant diagram or figure or circuit wherever necessary will not carry any mark. Many of the concepts in physics will be explained with the help of diagram or circuits. So wherever it is necessary, you must write the circuit diagram or figures. So if not, even though the answer is correct, it will not carry you any marks. So it will be awarded 0. So to avoid that, you must write the proper diagram or the figures or the circuit wherever it is necessary. And next, direct calculations, direct substitutions will not give you any mark again. So it is very important to write the proper formula and also the answer with relevant SI units. So it is very important to check the instructions before answering your question paper. So next, this is one of the model papers. You can observe there are 15 questions in part A where you have to answer only 10 questions. So 5 questions you can keep as an option. So only 10 you have to attend among 15 questions, that's in part A. And part B, you have 10 questions where you can attend only 5 questions. 5 into 2 you will get 10 mark. So among 10 questions, 5 you can keep as an option and another 5 you can answer. Next, part C, again you will be having 10 questions in part C where you can answer 5 questions, so which will give you 15 mark. And part D, you have 4 questions in 4th main, you have to attend only 2 among these, and 4 questions in part 5, you can answer only 2 among this. So 2 into 5 will get you 10 mark, and here also 10 mark, so total 20 mark. And next, part D, 6th main, you will be having total 7 numericals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Among 7 numerical, you need to answer only 3 numerical problems, which will be very easy. And if you plan well, definitely it is not that difficult to get good marks in your examination. So here, what are the key points to score well is you have to know your syllabus first. I think it is clear to all of you now. And you have to understand the concept and you have to develop your own strategies to get good results. Only if you develop your own strategies, you can execute it, you can execute your plans, you can implement them, and you can get a very good results. Next, you must have knowledge about question paper pattern. I have already shown you how your question paper will be. If you have that knowledge of question paper, you can definitely prepare well and you can score well. Next, relevant diagrams and circuit helps in scoring. Yes, you cannot neglect any of the diagrams or you cannot neglect writing the circuits or figures in the answers because that helps you in scoring well. And next, problem solving skills. So as you study one chapter and the another chapter, so you can improve your problem solving skills as you study chapter wise, as you practice all the numericals day by day. So these are the very important key points to score well. And as the great physicist and the mathematician Albert Einstein says, the real sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but it is imagination. Yes. Many legendary scientists like him have imagined so many things and gave us lot of theories to study about the nature and its secret. So Let us enjoy their imagination. Let us enjoy the theories given by them. Let us enjoy the subject in our upcoming sessions. Until then, take care all of you. Thank you.